Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is well red beard. It is a damn fine day to talk about some books. We're here for Beard Book Talk, where I show you what I read, what I got, what I'm going to read. Had a really good week reading wise. Had a really good weekend. Got up Saturday morning. We went and got tattoos. I got we both got the same thing. The Reader, which I thought was cool, and of course I've already how tattoos are addictive. It's probably been 15 years or so since I've gotten a tattoo. I mean, I've got a little one here that says Jack Santa. That is our children's names. Also, the name of our farm. I mean, it's not really a farm, but the name of our, I guess, plot of land, so to speak. I've got here, 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 here. That's pretty much it. So, but I just never really have taken the time to get them. And a tattoo artist in Maysville that my wife really likes, she was doing like she put a bunch of book ideas out there and then like booked appointments based off of them. And we really liked the Reader tarot card thing. So I've already got all these ideas of getting like little bitty symbols of my favorite books, like I mean, for example, like the bar soap from Fight Club or the bus from Into the Wild, and just little mementos, I guess, of my favorite books all the way up. That's kind of like a loose go here. So, anyway, but did that. They had some food trucks downtown, and again, this is like 30 minutes away from where I live because I live in a town where there's literally nothing. Not a we have a dollar store. I live like 3 miles outside of that town, but the town where there's a Walmart and a community college and things like that. It's where my wife works. It's like 30 minutes away. So they had food trucks downtown. That was really cool. And then hit the Goodwill, did some other things that afternoon. And yesterday we replaced a kitchen sink, which is not a fun day for me. I am not very good at fixing things. That's just not my cup of tea. I'm not very handy when it comes to that stuff. But replacing a kitchen sink is not supposed to be that hard. I mean, you disconnect the water lines, which I did, and first of all, getting under there is really hard for me. I'm kind of a large mammal. I disconnected the water lines, and I got to where really all I had to do was take a nut off of the bottom of the sink, and everything should have pulled through the top, but the nut just wouldn't move. It was probably been there for 20 to 25 years, oxidized on there. We'd had a slow leak over time and it just would not move. And I couldn't get the angle on it. I finally got like a particular size wrench to grab a hold of it, but it just wouldn't move. So, I I had a Dremel and I was trying to cut this thing from the bottom and wasn't having luck and to actually screwed up my Dremel in the process, and so I got angry and I went out into the garage and got my reciprocating saw, my Sawzall, and I just cut the entire faucet off the top of the sink. Now this is all demo. I mean we weren't keeping this as a 25-year-old faucet, but just cut the thing off the top and all the stuff I was trying to get out of the bottom fell right through, and we were good to go. So anyway, so replaced the kitchen sink that wound up taking way too much of my Sunday, which is supposed to be for peace and maybe a little bit of yard work and reading. But that did not happen. There was not much reading that happened yesterday. So the stuff I read this week, I finally finished The Girl from Raw Blood. I didn't like this book. I mean, I gave it 2 stars, I think, but to be honest with you, I thought about 1 stars throughout. And I haven't reviewed it yet. I did put a short review up, but I just didn't like it, and that sucks because you know I've liked the rest of Catriona Ward's stuff. Really liked a couple of them. I've read them all. This was my last read of hers, and in unfairness to her, this is her first novel, right? Like I had read the other ones first and liked them enough that I wanted to read all her shit, and I just didn't like this one. So, anyways, this is The Girl from Raw Blood. I read it. I'm at 2 stars, but I will be talking about it. I did The Secret History of the Rape Kit by Pagan Kennedy. This was a whim book that we both picked up a nonfiction book off of a buy one get one 50% table at Barnes and Noble. This was the one she picked up. I picked up a different one, but I read this and really liked it. 4 stars. It's really really. I mean, again, it takes a pretty shitty subject, sexual assault and rape, but turns it into a page turner. And it for me, it really kind of um, magnified a lot of women's issues, especially like from like the 1970s that I hadn't really thought much about. So I enjoyed this book, 3 stars. And then I read a couple of I read I guess you'd call it a self growth, creativity, productivity type book called Do the Work by Stephen Pressfield. This is my first Stephen Pressfield read, which I picked up a bunch of his shit, um, basically from watching the Ryan Holiday guy on YouTube. But yeah, so I read this. I mean, it's got some really, really good stuff in there about, combating resistance while trying to tackle projects. But I haven't figured out how to rate these books really. I mean, there's 5 star principles in here. I mean, there's 5 star ideas in here, but again, I don't know. I settled at 3 stars on the book, and because of that, or because of the difference in what I'm reading. I mean, with this stuff and my Pulitzer stuff and my, you know, horror stuff. I mean, I've really kind of found that first gut reaction, because I didn't used to do this. Like I would finish a book, I'd go mark it read on Goodreads, and I did not want to rate it right then because I was like, I don't know. But I've kind of found that gut reaction, like how I feel the minute I finish it, the minute I go to Goodreads, is kind of like correct. I don't know. So I gave it 3 stars, and I think I've already reviewed that one. And then I read On the Shortness of Life, very, very short book by Seneca. Again, this is Stoicism. It's, philosophy. It's, I mean, like I said, I read Marcus Aurelius's Meditations last week, and this is one that I had. Very short. Again, life isn't short. We just waste so much of it. And, it really kind of resonates today in our generations with these. I read something else the other day about the death of hobbies, that, no one that, I mean, my generation, I think, still does, because I think we still are kind of a bit self-conscious about that. But like the future generations, like no one's putting wood shops in their basements, or no one's really building a home library, or because all their free time is spent in the phone. I don't know, but this guy's the gist is that life isn't short. We just waste so much of it, and it really kind of talks about like levels of waste that you don't really think about, like all those things, like holding on to a grudge. You're wasting your time. Living in the present. I mean, the most valuable resource in the world is the present tense, and I mean, shit, it's gone. I mean, but anyway, enjoyed it. I mean, but again, there's only so many ways you can say that. It's only 42 pages long, but I still settled at 3 stars. And I don't know if that's fair, but yeah. So, On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. I think I have a review of this that I'll hit tomorrow. I think I still have to review The Girl from Raw Blood. So that's the stuff I finished, I think. I don't think I finished anything else this week. My audio book currently is Crime and Punishment. And again, this is because I have used up all my credits for the month on my 2 apps, and there are some free classics, right? On both, I think both Audible and Everend. I'm doing this on Everend, but I had just bought this book like maybe 2 weeks ago, or I don't know, in Indianapolis. I bought this book in Indianapolis, so I can't remember what weekend that was, but and then noticed when looking for an audio in the free library that they had this for free there. So I'm over halfway, and I would like to be able to finish this. I'm in the middle of 3 books. I'd like to be able to finish them all before the end of the month, but that's like 3 days, so I don't know that that's going to happen. But anyway, so I'm reading Crime and Punishment. I'm reading the 2017 Pulitzer-winning Underground Railroad, and I'm over halfway in that one. And then my nonfiction right now is The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin, and I've really kind of barely gotten into that. But so I do not think I'll be able to finish all three of those by sorry, the end of the month, but we'll see. Um, when I finish Crime and Punishment, my next audiobook that I have identified is Gates of Fire by Stephen Pressfield. This is the one that's about Thermopylae 300. And then when I finish Rick Rubin, I think my next nonfiction, whatever, philosophy is Ego is the Enema. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. And I haven't really thought about what I'm going to read after Colson Whitehead. I actually put together a TBR this month for the first time. So I think I had like 12 books on it, picked two or three or actually three or four that I knew I was going to do in audio because I'd already identified what I was going to use my next credits on. I put three Pulitzer books on there, Confederate or Underground Confederate Railroad. Confederate Railroad was like a country band back in the 90s anyway, the Underground Railroad, that was one of them, but so I've already gotten into that. And then, two or three horror books and so on and so forth. So I've actually got a TBR that I put together. So stuff that I got. I went into what's it called? Five Below. And so I've gotten a couple of these. I don't know what I call them. I've gotten a couple of these really small books that look nice. I bought one of them at Five Below. I've got a copy of A Christmas Carol like this, and then I found a copy of Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness like this. These small, but they're gold leaf. They kind of feel like they're cloth. I mean, they probably are not, but anyway, so they had the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I kind of wanted to read it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get that. And it was the only one on this particular side of the little book display that they have. And then I went around to the other side, and they had a couple others. And they're $5 a piece, which, isn't bad, but still, I was really just browsing in there. I was killing time while my wife was getting her nails done and wound up buying, 3 books. But, so I got the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I got The Way of the Samurai by Inazo Nitobe. And then I got The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I have read The Art of War, but I didn't own a copy, so now I've got, the little gold leaf copy of that. And anyway, but the point is I went into Five Below with no plans to buy anything, and I bought $15 worth of books. I saw like a little thing on I think it was Facebook, that Amazon was having a book sale. And of course, being who I am, I clicked it, with no plans to buy anything. And one of the things that popped up at me was this set of Tolkien, small, floppy, leather bound. And it's regularly like $59.99, but I got it for like maybe like $25. I paid like $25 for this, and it was a complete whim buy, which I'm trying not to do, but I liked it. It's very similar to the Game of Thrones set that I've got and have been reading. So I've got a box set of these. You can see them right there, but they're just paperback. So probably gonna move these to my Pango store and then put these on there. But I did pick up this set of Tolkien. I went to a Goodwill and picked up a few things. I got 7 books, I think. The best one being this vintage copy of I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. So I grabbed that. I mean, really, these are just some random things. Probably books I wouldn't generally show you here, but I got The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. Kaur? I don't know how you say that. It's poetry. Um, I don't know. I got My Antonia by Willa Cather. I got The Tale of Despero by Kate D. Camillo. This is like, I believe this is like a top children's book of all time. Like a top, what's it say here? I can't read it. The most distinguished contribution to American literature for children, a Newbery Medal. But I want to say that when I was reading the BBC's Top 100, that this was on there. Like, that there were some other children's books on there. A lot of Roald Dahl. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but this was on there. I mean, so this is a very, very popular, well thought of children's books, and this was a pretty nice copy. So I might actually read it. But I picked that up. I picked up The Immortalists, Charles Lindbergh, Dr. Alexis Carrel, and their daring quest to live forever. It kind of looked like, the type of nonfiction I've kind of been getting into. So I grabbed that. And then, I don't know, this one had a cool cover, Chorus by Rebecca Kaufman. And to be honest with you, I think, knowing that someone paid, got it at Barnes and Noble off the table that I occasionally shop at, I was like, I don't know. And then I got The Breakaway by Jennifer Weiner. I think I'm probably going to be wrong about this, but didn't she write Eat, Pray, Love? I think my wife has read her occasionally. Anyway, grabbed it on a whim. So 7 books at the Goodwill, nothing crazy. And then I did shit. I did a buy 3 get 1 free on eBay. And the reason that I did it was this book right here. I read Less a couple weeks ago. It was the Pulitzer winner for 2018, I believe. This is a sequel to it. I have not let myself go down rabbit holes with authors, that I've read in the Pulitzer arena or whatever. But in this case, I wanted to pick up the sequel. I'll probably be reading this in the next, I don't know, probably maybe, I don't know. I didn't put it in my TBR, but you know what I'm saying. Probably reading this in the next couple months. But this is Less is Lost by Andrew Sean Greer. The book Less, prequel to this, won the Pulitzer in 2018. And then I got another Pressfield. Sorry. Put Your Ass Where Your Heart Wants to Be. Another feels like self-growth, creativity, productivity type thing. He's got like 4 of them. He's got this one. He's got the one I just read, which was Do the Work. He's got one called Turning Pro. And he's got one that I think is the most popular one called The War of Art, rather than The Art of War. So anyway, I grabbed that, and I got a hardcover copy of Full Dark No Stars because I didn't have one and I needed one for the shelf. And I bought a paperback copy in good condition of The Night Boat by Robert McCammon. And this is what I got. Now, this is the second time I have done this, and this particular seller is Second Sale on eBay. Is what it is. I've reached out. They're like, well, you can return it. I'm like, I don't want to return it. I don't want to go to the post office and deal with that. You can return it to, but the book that you bought is unavailable. I'm like, well, so the deal is this is the second time that in filling out an order in the last 3 months, I have added Night Boat by Robert McCammon to my order. And the first time I got a Douglas Adams book that I don't know of. I mean, but one of his, I guess, lesser titles. And then this time I got this. So both I guess semi-vintage paperbacks, like Night Boat would be, but just not what I frickin' ordered. So whatever. I mean, is what it is. That's the risk you run with those buy 3. You don't buy 3 get 1, buy 2 get 1. You don't really know the condition of the books you're getting, but it's such a good deal. I mean, I paid like, I don't know, $11 or something for 4 books shipped to me. But of course, then when you wind up not getting the books you ordered, the deal gets less attractive, I guess. So that's everything I got. That's everything that I read. It's everything that I'm working on. So Anyway, I appreciate you being here, having fun with this. I hope you're enjoying it. I just really like that you're, on the ride with me or whatever on this journey. So, yeah, that's it. This has been Well Red Beard. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying all your books as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.